That's so cool.
House on the Mend.
Hi, I'm Mike with House on the Mend. In this video, we're going to be reviewing the Litheli EASYSURGE Self-Propelled Lawnmower. Now, this mower has some great innovations. It has this control panel up here that looks like a yoke steering wheel. It has a telescoping handle here so you can store it away. And it has the capability to run 4 batteries at once. Now, full disclosure, I'm not paid nor sponsored by Litheli, but they did reach out and send me this unit for free. But my opinions and my critiques are my own. All right, let's unbox it, set it up, and put it through its paces. Ooh, I will say this box is a whole lot heavier than the other mowers they make. All right, let's see what's inside. Now, before we get any further, the packaging, as always with Litheli products, is amazing. This box was within another box, so I have never had an issue with any damage on the inside of a Litheli box. All right. Right on the top is the grass catcher. It doesn't have a handle up here. It has this one inside that you have to kind of push the netting out of the way. That's different. All kinds of little cardboard wedges inside to make sure things aren't really hopping around. All right. Oh yeah, this guy is pretty heavy. I'd say about 40 pounds or so. Well, certainly no assembly required. It's all put together. So this little guy here must be for the telescoping handle. Yep. You pull it all the way till you see a hole on the inside, and then you can close it. Very nice. Now on the right side of the mower is the quick release for the handle, which is cool because you can collapse this, then push this down and go store it somewhere. When it's time for use, you put the handle up into place, and then with this quick release, clamp that into place, good to go. I like that. So instead of the white door for the batteries, we have this smoky plastic looking one, and wow, we have room for 4 batteries in here. So we'll have to see what's up with that. Can it run on either the U20 or their new batteries, or what that's all about? That'll be interesting. Well, let's flip this around so that both camera angles can get a shot of the back here. Now, as I lift this up, yep, we have the same mulching cover. So if you want to put a mulching blade in, this little guy right here clicks into place and blocks any buildup of grass while it's mulching. We're not going to use that, but we are, of course, going to use the grass catcher. We need to bring down this metal bar here, and we need to clip the actual fabric netting material around this bar. Very similar to the other grass catchers. So I'll do that off camera since it's not that interesting, but let's see how it clicks into place. So we open the door. We bring the grass catcher in. It sits on these 2 plastic tabs right here and over here. And then the door holds it right in place. Nice. All right, let's switch camera views and look at the batteries. So the Litheli batteries that come with the EASYSURGE are individually wrapped like a fine piece of candy. And let's take a look at them. Very sleek looking, kind of like the Tesla robot, you know, with this very white face, black banding, and then this kind of smoky plastic here. This button is your battery life indicator, and it gives a blue to red, signaling how much power. So we've got about 75% of power. Quite different than the Litheli standard U20 batteries that have the 3 LED dots showing, in this case, 100%. Some other similarities to this battery: they are exactly the same size, same rails. And on the bottom here, we have the exact same USB-C and then 2 ports that actually drive the tools. The USB-C that you see here is how you can charge these batteries individually. And also similar to these standard batteries, these Super Battery Ultras, as they're called, also have a max input of 45 watts. So your standard household charger is like 10 watts. So I always recommend with these you buy a 45 watt charger, and I link those chargers in the description of every Litheli video. Now, in this case, these batteries can be charged in that same manner as you can see in this picture, or you can use the supplied charging base. That's the first Litheli tool I've ever received that had a charging base. Pretty cool. Just a standard 110 outlet, a standard plug. It goes in. Now let's see what it looks like when we charge these. Now there is no locking mechanism. They simply slide in with a friction fit, and you can see it immediately assesses, starts charging, and it has an active fan. Do you hear that? So I'll bet you this is going to be pretty fast. In fact, if you look at this picture, you will see that it can handle 20 volts at 4.5 amps. So if you multiply that, that comes out to 90 watts, which makes sense. That means that it's being split by these 2 batteries, and we are charging each of them at 45 watts, which probably explains the fan. All right, just over 43 minutes to go from what was about 75% to fully charged. So this charging dock is no faster than the 45 watt charger that you can buy separately, but it does charge them both at the same time, which is pretty great. I also wanted to add that each of these batteries come with their own USB-C charging cable if you're on the go, or if you want to use them as chargers for your electronic device. You can input and output to your phone, to your computer, whatever, off of this same cable. So the manual is very IKEA-like in the beginning here. You can see lots of pictures, very few words, but they get their point across. Now, one thing that I thought was terribly laid out, here is numbers corresponding to each area that they want to tell you what that button or what that feature is called, but it's not written right here. Instead, it's on page 8. So you have to go back and forth. That should have been better thought out. With our Super Battery Ultras fully charged, we can put them into the mower. They click right into place. To release them, simply press the button. It's catching right here on the battery to hold them in place. Now, while these batteries were charging, I did some reading. Come to find out, this mower will work on just 2 batteries if you want, but you need 4 batteries to go into the EASYSURGE mode. Now the batteries can be up top, down low. They just can't be diagonal. That doesn't work. Regular batteries by themselves will work in the unit and drive it. I tested that. I'm going to do most of my testing in the normal mode with just these two batteries, because I want to see out of the box what kind of runtime you will get if you purchase one of these. Let's move up to the display now. All right, here is the operator's view of the display screen. First, we have the power button. As soon as we turn that on, we see we're in normal mode. We have full battery life in the two batteries we have. You can see it blinking here that it wants the other batteries, but we're going to leave it with just the ones that were included. On the right side, this dial is for the speed of the self-propelled. So we can go from 1.3 up to 2.9 and lots of variables in between. Pretty cool. Same thing as you saw in the beginning of this video. This is our height adjustment. Starts at 1 and we have 6 adjustments. Now 1, 2 brings it up a level. You can't just spin it a bunch. It only goes up 1 or down 1 at a time. There we are, all the way up to 6. You can see how much it's raised up. This was perfectly in view of the camera at first. So to start the actual mower blade, you have to push on this button here at the bottom center and then pull the flaps up on either side of the handle. You do not have to hold this the entire time, just long enough to get it started. These here, let me pull it back, on either side, you push those in and that is your self-propulsion. Pretty cool. So, I'm actually wanting to cross-cut this way on the lawn this time, but I need to make a 2-width lane here for me to turn around each time I make a pass back and forth. That way I'm not having to go off into the mulch. And I have this bin set here for whenever we fill this 13-gallon catch, I can dump it right into there, put it over in the compost pile earlier. I am at cutting level 4, which is pretty good for this so far. And I'm at the highest speed because why not? Well, so far I really like it. The motor makes it effortless. It's not struggling in any of the high spots. I would say the only thing I can feel a little bit in my hands, gripping all of this. So gripping this part that keeps the blade going, and then also squeezing here for the self-propulsion. So my hands are a little tired, but other than that, this is a nice mower. Let's clean it out while we're right here. Yeah, that's holding a lot more than my other ones. I wish there was a strap right here. The other Litheli mowers have a little strap that you can hold. All right, I'm gonna keep going and see how much battery life we have left when we're done or whenever it cuts out. Well, it just cut out. You can see it was struggling on that whole row. Now, this grass is a little bit higher than this lower area, but we've only gone, man, a third of the lawn here, which is a pretty big lawn, and it's cutting out. So when I walked around, I can see we're showing 2 bars right now, but it was showing only 1 as we were in motion. So I went back over that row and it managed it, but I think the battery is getting low enough that I hear it slowing down and it's not able to push the grass out of the chute and through the bag. So I think it's time for a battery change. Now I will say that is a tremendous amount of grass that we cut and dumped in here on those two batteries. And this is a really big lawn, but we managed to get maybe close to halfway through on just the two supplied batteries. Yeah, these batteries are hot. Okay, I've got 4 standard U20 4 amp hour batteries. Maverick, let's see how far we get. All right, even with the 4 batteries on and it's set to easy surge, I have the speed turned down a touch to 2.6. At cut level 4, it is still cutting out. It cannot handle the speed and the cut at the same time. Now you might be saying, hey, your grass is too long. Though obviously it's too long for this unit, but if you see these lines of grass, I just cut this grass with my riding lawnmower yesterday. Down to, I don't remember how many inches, 3 inches, 3.5 inches. So just this taking a little bit more off the top seems to be too much for this mower. I'm gonna slow the speed down and see if that keeps it from cutting out. Ultimately, I had to raise the mower to its fullest height, or 3 inches, and I had to turn down the speed to 2 miles per hour to keep it from cutting out. So let's take the fully depleted batteries and see how long they take to charge. So 1 hour and 20 minutes from fully depleted, and this one is finished. Just a touch left on this one, which is why the fan shut off. And the charging dock will also charge standard U20 batteries. Now the EasySurge does have Bluetooth functionality, believe it or not, and likely has an app that I found on the App Store. But as you can see here, it's all written in Chinese. And then this next picture, it says the data they may use. The following data may be collected and linked to your identity: your location, user content that looks like pictures and videos right out of your Photos app, usage data, your contact info, identifiers, and diagnostics. And then right below it says it's not going to link your diagnostics. So anyway, I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not downloading it. That's going to be a no for me. All right. Well, I definitely would not want to carry this heavy mower back and forth from my backyard to my front yard. So if you have concrete the whole way around, that won't really be a consideration. Otherwise, think about lugging 40 pounds around every time you need to switch yards. All right, this is a much smaller piece of grass. It was featured in our last video on the 3 standard mowers. It's been cut recently, but let's run it through with just the 2 batteries and see what it's like to make this many turns with something this heavy, and see if it's pleasurable enough to use. Let's go back down to the 4th position, which admittedly is risky, and just 2 miles an hour. So if you time it just right with the self-propelled, you go 3/4 of the way, then let off and finish, and the wheels won't dig into the grass. Just like that. So what's nice is once you're done cutting and you need to get off the lawn, the mower just drives itself. And then we can dump the grass. So with my smaller Litheli mower, cutting this lawn usually takes about 3 dumps of the bag. This is much shorter than usual, but nonetheless, it's only about half this bag, so pretty impressive. Well, I think that's enough testing to give you my pros and cons. First, the pros. The innovations in this mower are fantastic. This control panel is like nothing I've ever seen. I love that it's self-propelled. I like that you can put 4 batteries in, so you can conceivably run for quite a long time. Now, provided your lawn isn't too long. I like how easy it was to store away with this one handle here to flip it down after you collapse this. That is all great. And as always, the U20 Battery Platform they have is super innovative. I like it. I have a bunch of other tools from Litheli they've sent me. They all work fantastic. Now the cons. And there's more than usual, sadly. This mower is underpowered for my lawn. It wasn't overgrown. I had just cut it the day before down to like 3.5 inches. Also, the battery life was unimpressive when using the self-propelled and having it at full speed. I had to turn everything down, lift up the mower just to get through on a couple batteries. Next, it's really heavy. All that self-propelled stuff in there, maybe this control panel, adds a lot more weight than the normal 18-inch Litheli mower, which weighs in at almost 30 pounds, 29.5. This unit with no batteries is 39.7 pounds, and it's 43 pounds with 4 batteries in it. Lastly, the EASYSURGE. The manual says, the EASYSURGE mode provides enhanced mowing efficiency for tougher grass conditions. When in EASYSURGE mode, the EASYSURGE mode indicator will display. Well, it certainly does display right around here, but I didn't notice any difference. It's still cut out on EASYSURGE mode when I had it down to my desired cutting height of the number 4 level. So who ultimately is this mower good for? I would say medium-sized lawns. It obviously couldn't handle my very large lawn in the backyard. But the small lawn, yes, it handled it fine, but this is a whole lot of mower for a really small lawn. So if you found this video helpful, will you please give it a thumbs up? It's really helpful to the channel. Also, please consider subscribing. I work really hard to put out detailed, efficient tool review videos. We're also doing a basement build that you might be interested in, and it's really helpful to the channel. It's also free. I'd like to thank Litheli for having the courage to just send me out their tools with no preconceived notions ahead of time on what I'm going to say, and they never request to see the video ahead of time. The most they've ever requested is that I add their new logo to my thumbnails, and I was happy to do that. Now I'm going to leave a link to the EASYSURGE mower, also to the entire line of Litheli mowers. Full disclosure, those will all be Amazon affiliate links, so if you click on any one of them and make any purchase, it won't cost you a thing, but I do get a small reward at the end of the month. I'm also going to put Litheli's website in the description below, so you can check out all the various tools they have. Most of them are fantastic. Until next time, thank you for watching. Hey, that's not helpful.